Hello and welcome to chapter 303 of the DC Alliance podcast. With me, as always, is Joe. Joe, how you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing not too shabby. I'm doing pretty good. This is obviously we are in April. This is my last weekend where I'm not working, which is nice. We are supposed to, as of right now, we're working weekends again in May, but we'll see if that changes. I don't know. But I'm going to take advantage of it while I can. I'm going to try to get ahead on some podcast stuff and going to try anyway. We'll see if I actually do. But no, I'm doing good. How about you, Travis? How you doing?
A little tired, Joe. Been on day of duty today. It was my day off from work, but unfortunately, my kid was home sick, so I was taking care of him today and watched a lot of Spotty and Amazing Friends, and thought to myself, like, why doesn't DC have something like for this kind of lower age bracket?
They got
Like
the bat wheels.
I was blown away because he knows everything about him. He knows about like Ant Man, Green Goblin.
Yeah,
Uh,
Marvel definitely was smart in their marketing on all that. They they hit out of the park with that age group.
yeah, it's pretty smart what they do. So he knows Spotty now. He loves Spotty. Uh, but besides that, I love Spotty too. So it's always fun and just seeing and watch some things. I'm like, cool. Uh, but besides that, Joe, not that much here. I'm excited. We got a little bit of content to talk about. We got a nice teaser trailer, and there's a bit of kerfuffle online about a poster, which I would like to say I'm shocked, but in this day and age, I'm not. We'll talk about it a little bit, and I'll try to tell people to maybe calm down until you actually see the product before you
Nah,
criticize. But
that's
before
not how the internet works, Travis.
before we do that, let me get the network plugs out of the way. So we are part of the Geek Ultimate Alliance with 6 shows in total. On Mondays is Ranger Alliance. On Tuesdays is a walk through the multiverse. On Wednesdays is the Animation Nation. On Thursdays is Star Wars Alliance. On Fridays is Marvel Alliance. On Saturdays is DC Alliance. Star Wars Alliance goes live on the Geekverse YouTube channel Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Marvel Alliance goes live Thursdays at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. And DC Alliance goes live Fridays at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. All three of those shows also throw podcast feeds. Search DC Alliance, Marvel Alliance, and Star Wars Alliance. You just want DC content, Marvel content, or Star Wars content only. We've got all 6 shows on GUA Podcast Network. Stay subscribed to the GUA in your podcast app of choice. We also have a Patreon, 2 tiers, a dollar tier and a $5 tier. The dollar tier is basically a tip jar, like we're doing. You want to help us out any way you can. And the $5 tier is where you get your extras. You get your ad-free episodes, early access episodes, and Patreon exclusive episodes. Okay, Joe. We got to jump into this because I want to talk about this Clayface trailer.
Yeah, this could be
As
fun.
this is not something that we've seen in the DCEU. I don't think this is something we've seen in DC in general.
This is still based off the Mike Flanagan script, right? Or is it just like the concept of it?
No, it's based off the Mike Flanagan script
Sweet,
that was
yeah,
based off of Feet of Clay,
right.
the two-part episode in Batman the Animated Series. So, uh, yeah, again, I was blown away by this, and this is no like story trailer or anything. This is just a sneak peek of these things. So, uh, just give me a second here, and I will mute this and get
Hmm.
this going. So this is the shot that people have seen too, which is very Two Face like from the Dark Knight to
Right.
me. But I still love it. He's like completely shocked, and you can see he looks back at his old life. I think is what clues up here right away. Yeah, we see the way he looked, which is quite handsome. And to go from that to this, yeah, he even leads his own movie here, Joe. I think they made up the movie for the made up the movie in this universe for this movie.
Makes
I
sense.
guess so. And yeah, he's just looking back at his life, tortured, and I can't wait to see like what actually happens. And we see the little tiny snippet of it there, and that mask. I've seen that from basketball players, so it's like,
Right.
and then he's looking at himself in the face, and the effects here is all practical, which I really enjoy. Uh, trying to again, I'm just interested to see. We're not going to see anything like him actually turning in anything here, but just
Not in this
clips
trailer,
of
yeah.
no.
This teaser.
And there's uh, the scientist is apparently off board that gives him this. It's not quite like Feet of Clay, so and yeah, he's that is
That yeah, him wiping his face
that's some
and it
freaky.
becoming just blank is
Yeah, some
really
horror
cool.
stuff that we haven't seen in DC, and I love it. And yeah, I'm all for this, Joe. Coming in October, so we're gonna get a
Yeah.
whole lot of content here. There's no after teaser for this, so yeah. I don't know. I'm really excited for this. There is always the question of the Batman of it all. So, like, what do
Right.
you think about there being no Batman in this? And then we'll get a discussion about the greater DCU, obviously.
I mean, Clayface is one of those characters where, obviously, if you watch Feats of Clay, Batman is apparent in that one. But Clayface himself, the character, and then this one's going off of Matt Hagen, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, not
So,
Basil Carlo.
um, but even either one, like you can, no matter which Clayface you pull from, Batman doesn't have to be a protagonist, antagonist, doesn't have to be a foil to Clayface. Because Clayface in general almost is always, especially in Feats of Clay, was going up like against the mob. He was in with the mob, he slighted the mob, and the mob retaliated, and that's how he got his powers because they did something to his makeup material,
Yeah,
and it did something to his body. So if it's something on, I mean, obviously for here it looks like it may be some sort of accident, and he is taking the makeup to try and fix himself, reform himself. Who knows? I
see,
don't. We'll figure it out. But
I did see some things there, and there's a scientist that injects him with
right, we did
purple
see that.
formula, so he's basically getting that, and there's going to be side effects from that. It's not going to be like the Feed Clay episode where he constantly going back and getting more of the cream, like allowed him to go and do several more movies before they cut off his supply. It's not going to be like that. I don't know if there's going to be a Daggett. It's Daggett, right? Yeah, Roland
Daggett
Daggett.
sounds right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they're going to base it 100% off that or not. They might do like they might take some liberties, but it is based off of that two-part Batman the animated series
Right.
episode, with obviously some stuff changed, of course. And I don't think there's a problem with not having Batman in this because you're
Doesn't
just
need
building
to.
up this character.
Yeah.
And again, the more interesting thing I find is that from watching the teaser, it being set in the DCU instead of being set in Matt Reeves' universe, because just watching teaser kind of fit in there. I'm okay with it being the DCU because I kind of want to see a fantastical Clayface at some point. Like, I don't think we're seeing that in this movie, but like, I hope at some point we see a fantastical Clayface that turns his like body into several different weapons, and like it's more similar to who Rick Flag fights in Creature Commandos, because it's set in this universe, and this Clayface movie is going to be the first thing. It's supposed to be the first movie set in the DCU.
Yeah. I think James Gunn said that this is supposed to be the same Clayface that
Hmm.
Flag fought in Creature Commandos.
Yep.
So, which is very intriguing. And then obviously he also said that this movie, like you just said, takes place. It's alleged, supposed to be the first movie in DCU. Takes place prior to Superman. So that's interesting.
Very interesting, Joe.
Yeah.
Like again, I'm interested, like, because I've seen people complain about that, and I'm like, didn't you watch Batman the animated series? Because that Clayface that started out in that Feed Clay two-parter, he got progressively more fantastical and like comic booky as you went on in that show, in
Well, it's
that
also.
universe.
I'm also assuming you can also probably assume that this movie is not going to be like, oh, okay, so it starts out. He here he is in the hospital. Like it's probably going to be a here he is just normal, and we're going to see multiple years
Well,
probably.
he's an upcoming actor, and I don't think we'll see multiple years. I think that
Maybe it's
like
all over a time period. Like
yeah,
I'm assuming it's going to be some gaps in here. Like it's going to take place. The whole movie's going to take place over multiple periods of time. Maybe like maybe a year, maybe a couple months, but like
I could see it being a little bit of time because I feel like it'll work for him for a little bit,
that's what.
and
Yeah.
then it'll stop.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know if they like how like they won't go like they did with the animated series where he gets the product and he can star in like 10 or 12 more movies for a couple of years before they cut off like I don't think it'll go that long.
Right.
Yeah, like it probably might be a year. You could be right, but I don't know how long they'll take it where it's still working for him and it starts side effects. I feel like they'll do that pretty quickly. So, uh, and again, I'm okay with
Yes.
it being in DCU. Like I don't have any problem with
Oh yeah,
that.
no, none whatsoever. Like I mean, the connectivity, bring it on. I mean, it's and yes, he is allegedly dead after Creature Commandos, but it's Clayface. I mean, what's to say that he doesn't reform himself and come back later?
Exactly, Joe. And again, I wish we see Batman. Might be a chance to see Batman at the end of this film, maybe, or even hear about him at some point in this universe. As he existed before Clayface started? Like I assume so. So maybe we might
There
get
might be
some.
hints. Yeah,
Maybe you get a bat signal,
I can see a post credit scene of maybe somebody coming out of the shadows, like a punch being thrown in the shadows,
or like we
or like
saw
you
at
said, a
the end of
signal.
Penguin. Yeah, like we in the Penguin, we saw a signal go up. So maybe
Yeah,
it gets something like that. But and the runtime is under 2 hours. Is the rumored runtime for
I'm
this
fine with
as
that.
well. Same here.
I say I'm at the. I think I've said this before. I'm at the point now where give me a solid story, 2 hours in out, under 2 hours even better. I don't need the 3 hour long run times because that's just it's dumb anymore.
Yeah,
I'll still watch it, but like I don't need to be there for that long watching this movie. You know?
no, and again, it's just like I said, it's whatever the movie. Well, like I've always said, whatever the story entitles. Like as long as they're not saying, yeah, you got to cut it a half hour because we want to sell more
Sure.
tickets, that's fine. Like I assume that most horror movies don't go for 3 hours anyway, and this
No,
is what
most
this
of
is
them
based
are
on.
hour and a half, hour 45,
Yeah,
2 hours max.
and yeah, this works. Just works for me. So, uh, full steam ahead, Joe. We got a little bit of news to talk about before, but let's get our only ad break of the evening. Let's search for an ad support network. We're gonna pick the ads or volume. Gonna do a quick 3 count to adjust your volume, and we'll be right back in 3, 2, 1. And we're back. Okay, guys, we got some news, surprisingly, because it's been pretty slow. And we'll go first with what I was talking about before. We got a poster from James Gunn for uh, the Green Lanterns, the Lanterns show. And people are getting kind of up in arms about the tagline, only one can wear the ring.
I mean, it's no different than what we talked about before. Kyle's gonna, not Kyle, Hal's gonna die, or
Yeah.
Hal's gonna be incapacitated. Like he's not gonna be able to continue on in the series. So yeah,
And they're talking about that ring specifically, but again, I think that's as far as taglines goes, probably not the best one for Green
no,
Lanterns.
but
Like just, but again, this I'm gonna watch the whole story, and after I watch the whole show, I'll go back and be like, yeah, that was the dumbest tagline ever. Be like, oh no, that was pretty appropriate for what
yeah,
we
it
ended
makes
up
sense.
seeing in the film, in the show.
These guys are bringing this stuff up because they know what the story is. We as an audience have no idea because we haven't seen it yet.
Also, shout out to them for doing like a 98% green poster. Like the background's green, the ring is the only thing color green, and the white lantern stuff. The guys are in black, but
Oh
just
yeah, the guy
because
kind
of
of
all
gold.
the
Yeah.
lack of green they had in the teaser, I do
What?
think it was done on purpose, and I love it. So, yeah, Joe, I just thought it was funny. Like people, I don't understand why you would get so up in arms about this. Just because, like, watch the product first before you like. What's the reason? Like, what does it get out of you uh, to get all so up in arms about this? Share pictures of the rest of the Green Lantern Corps and be like, "This is the." Can you watch the show first? They talked about other members of the Lantern Corps, so it's not like they're gonna get there and hell's gonna be like only one person can wear the ring. No, like that's not like again. It's just basically the mentor, and like Joe and I said, there's if you were bitten, there's no chance Hal Jordan makes that in the show alive.
Nope.
No, so
Guaranteed he's dying.
like everything else, just watch it first before you get up, because you like waste outrage that when you look back on it, it might be something you end up loving. Like myself, why did I need a Penguin show? I thought it, And I think I might have said it once here. I'd have never been like, "This is stupid. I'm not watching it," or "Why are you?" Like, odd character to have, but Matt Reeves great in the Batman, so we'll go with it. And what did we end up getting?
One of the best shows we've ever seen.
So again, it's just like that for here. So uh, full steam ahead as far as I'm concerned. Joe, some I guess good news for DC. Uh,
Eh,
because Paramount takeover Warner Brothers gets green light, but the good part is David Zaslav's. So I'll read here. Paramount's 110 billion mega deal for Warner Brothers Discovery got the green light from WB shareholders. Obviously, they would because their value goes up crazy as they voted to approve the merger that would come on to studios. The shareholders, however, rejected David Zaslav's lucrative persuasive package, sending a message to its board in the process. The votes are preliminary, with WBD expected to release more complete results later on. The company's secretary said when announcing the preliminary results that shareholders overwhelmingly voted to approve the merger. With shareholder approval, Paramount just needs to clear the remaining regulatory hurdles, particularly in Europe, to close the deal. The merger would reshape Hollywood, bringing Devanted, WB, and Paramount film studios under one roof, combining HBO Max and Paramount Plus streaming service. I don't get any access to any. Well, I don't get much of the content from either of those. Actually, I don't get access to HBO Max. I think this kills Crave. And
yeah,
creating that what will be no, it doesn't. Crave sucks, so they should burn.
Okay.
The largest they charge $30 extra just to have HBO stuff on their app, not including whatever else they got on. You got to pay $10. So yeah, no, and they get all the TV channels and that too. So yep. So they will vote no on a compensation due to David Zaslav pay package, which will see him collect between 550 and 886 million. It is outrageous. The value disclosed in the golden parachute table for David Zaslav is the highest golden parachute ever observed. So yeah, they are just essentially putting a stop to that and saying no. So also, apparently they've committed to releasing 30 movies a year theatrically with a minimum of 45-day theatrical windows for everyone, and to continue to be a buyer and seller of TV series. HBO Max and Paramount Plus will merge, but he has promised to keep HBO running independently as a studio. Which, again, when you're trying to get these deals put through, you're going to say pretty much anything and everything. Now, they've done some things already with some of their stuff. They haven't had it for 45 days before they take it off. So, again, I hope things work out here, Joe, but I am always very skeptical when you come from giant business yet.
Yeah, it's one of those things where obviously we both were not very fond of Paramount coming in. We didn't want Paramount, we wanted Netflix. But at the same time, oh no, Zaslav isn't getting his money, darn.
Yeah, like that's an outrageous amount just to sell a company.
Yeah.
Especially when you came in and then cratered the stock. Now, you did get rid of some of the debt and were able to sell it off, and that's basically what some people like myself thought you were doing from the beginning.
Oh, yeah.
And he has positioned a company that I guess look attractive, had two bidders. Now, Netflix was just basically looking for the whole content for the library more than anything. So, again, hesitant, Joe, but we'll see if it even gets through all of Congress and all the hearings that I got to go through.
Anyway,
yeah, one thing that stuck out to me, there was a little James Gunn interview where he talked about different tones in DCU. He talked about seeing some of the characters from Man of Tomorrow show up in Peacemaker, and those characters like being completely different than their big movie counterparts, and he just found it pretty cool. So yeah, there was nothing there about him talking about different tones in DCU projects. He just talked about tones for different characters when they're in different projects. So yeah,
it's nice. It does tend to be odd sometimes, especially when you are trying to build a universe, a cohesive universe that spans multiple movies. I understand like in the comics, when you have a character that is in different books different times, like different writer. Perfect example is like the Joker. The Joker, a writer comes in. You have a Joker in one book, in one Batman couple issues where he is a completely psychotic killer. And then like a new writer comes in and he wants to do the Joker, and now he's a fun, whimsical guy. Like, and that makes sense. One, that's the Joker, but to see somebody like Rick Flag being this complete badass of a character in Creature Commandos, to then turn around and have him being a uh, kind of a heel, really, in Peacemaker, is just like you do kind of see that curve take that turn in in Superman a little bit.
But he's still pretty understanding with Superman at some points.
Right.
Yeah, like,
But then you see the complete turn in Peacemaker, because he's like, oh, like Peacemaker killed my son, so screw him.
but I would even respect that more if he was like constantly at Peacemaker, but there's points where he's like partying up with Lexus guys to go
Right.
through the altar, and I'm
You
like,
don't ever see him like
No.
ever fully going at Peacemaker.
no, like that. So that's why it was just a little odd. But again, I didn't detract. We both enjoyed Peacemaker, so
Right. Like, okay, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I am trying to get at. I'm not upset at the different tones, but I think if you were to write the story a little bit better and make it a little more cohesive of the tone change, then I wouldn't have an issue with it.
hmm And I would prefer, like I said, I would prefer if Flag wasn't like that, but it didn't ruin the show for me. But it just
No,
did stick
no.
out, like you said, it stick out enough for you, and I'd remember it. So
Yeah.
and finally, because we don't have a whole, we got a Man of Tomorrow, uh, basically a little logo, which is the
Yeah.
Brainiac symbol and the House of L symbol. So
Which looked kind of cool.
it
Like,
did
I
look
mean,
kinda cool.
it's nothing
In
really
black
to
and
write home
white, wasn't
about,
it?
but
Like it wasn't black and white, is what I saw.
I
So
mean, silver on
yeah,
black, but
silver
yeah.
on black, yeah. So again, that's pretty cool. And finally, Joe, we got just a little smile chat about Zack Snyder's Justice League, as it's been 5 years since
Yeah.
that has been out. We spoke about BBS last episode, so I figured why not wait and talk a little bit about Zack Snyder's Justice League. And I'm pretty sure you were on the review of that
Yes, it
for
was.
this
Yes.
episode. Yes, before you were co-hosting, I think. And yeah, I do remember that being a big episode. I think we had 4 guests for that,
believe
maybe
so,
5.
That was a good amount.
It was really enjoyable, and yeah, I'm shocked that it's been as much time since the it's been more time since we've had it than we didn't, which is
Right.
crazy. Like 2017, that film came out, and then we got it in 2021.
Yeah.
So 4
2021.
years, we waited 4 years, which I thought we'd have to wait a long time to get that film, and the fact that we didn't have to wait very long.
Well, I mean, I guess COVID kind of helped with that, having no content on HBO Max, and
Oh yeah.
HBO's like, yeah, let's
Also,
here's something.
Everybody that was involved in that decision was no longer making decisions there.
Right.
So that also makes a big deal, because nobody has to say I was wrong. We just feel like the previous regime was wrong. So
Yeah.
that stand, and again, the COVID and HBO Max needing content, all that was a big reason why. But no complaints here, because again, it's one of my favorite superhero films. I loved it, and I could not have been. I thought I was going to be disappointed. Not going to lie. Leading up to the film and say, there's only going to be a little bit that I haven't seen. It's not going to be. Nope, I could not have been more pleased with that whole thing. And yes, it's 4 hours, but the chapters really makes it easy. You don't have to like go through the whole thing. You can watch it in chapters.
Yeah, I know when I did watch it the first time, for the first 2 times, because I watched it when it came out. I do remember taking my daughter to school, coming, because I called into work that day or scheduled it off or something. Coming home, like basically saying, "All right, bye to everybody. Order myself a pizza or something," and like just having it here and watching it straight through, and then like basically watching it again, like restarting it, watching it again, just cause. So I got to watch it twice straight through, and then after that, I'm like, okay. And again, I know I just complained before about 4 hours being over, anything over 2 hours is long, and it is.
But
4
you were
hours,
home.
yes, but you are correct. But I'm not disagreeing with my earlier statement. Anything over 2 hours is long. This 4 hours is a long time, but what you said, having the chapter breaks is a godsend because it's like half hour to 45 minutes is each chapter.
I got up to pee twice. I remember getting up to watch this in the morning at 4 a.m. my time
Whew.
and watched it straight through. Uh, and yeah, I was able to pause it a couple times to go and pee in my own home. So it
Yeah.
would have been ridiculous in a theater, but I was like sitting there drinking water, watching it, and drinking tea too. So
Oh man, I would love to have seen. I know like Scott and
a few people saw it in
Dave.
IMAX.
Dave got to go to L.A.
Phil too, I think.
Did Phil go see it
I
too?
think so
Oh,
too.
good
Yeah,
for him. Good for all of them. Like they all
yeah,
got to go see it. Meet up with Zach. Like
it was pretty
that's
cool.
awesome. Good for
And
them.
again, every character had a story. It all made sense, and yeah, I could not have been more happy with what we got. So
Well, it's just you got the complete story.
yeah,
That's the thing. Like
no,
the difference between Zack Snyder's Justice League and what we got with Justice League from 2017 is yes, it's 2 hours more, but you're not shoehorning in characters. Like obviously in the 17 Justice League, Cyborg doesn't like feels like he doesn't need to be there because you completely ripped out his story.
Flash too.
Flash is another one. Like you completely ripped out their stories. And for what? Because so you can get more time in theaters?
It's again, it didn't land, and I was so pleased. I couldn't believe when I was watching stuff, be like, how do you take this out? Like the whole Flash going back in time, and like how do you take
That's
that
a
out?
pivotal point,
And
especially when you go and make it a part of his movie in a couple years. Like,
I loved the fact that essentially, uh, like even Superman's reappearance, we didn't get a whole lot of him, but we've had him in two previous iterations,
mm-hmm.
like movies in that universe, so it's completely fine. And yeah, I had the only complaints I could have with it were the epilogue, like just throwing everything in there. But I can understand why, because you're never going to get playing that universe again, so why
Right,
not? But
maybe,
didn't need didn't need that at the time. Uh,
yeah, right.
like the Joker stuff and that, but I can understand why you'll put that in there. Like I just mean
Do it
like when
because you have the chance. So why
like
not?
when Flash is running and closes his hands and they go out, that would be a perfect way to end the film. And like I don't think there's a problem with that. But I love the epilogue. I loved it, but I just time it as a criticism, and you got a 4 hour long length. You didn't need to put that epilogue in there if you were wrapping up your universe. That would have wrapped it up right there with Flash running at the end
Yeah,
and being right happy, and then Superman tearing off his thing and flying. That would have been all you needed. You didn't need to tease anything because it wasn't going to be anything going forward. So, but I'm okay with that
unless
as
he was
well.
trying to do it to see if I mean, obviously the fans of his stuff was gonna uh, champion trying to get more out there. But unless it was one of those things where, hey, if he can garner enough attention, maybe he could get like an animated
And
or
that might
a
be
comic or
that might have been
something.
and that might have been his reasoning for it, Joe. He gave it to us as I just wanted to. It would be a shame if I like spent all this time at DC and I didn't get Batman and Joker on screen together for a scene.
Right,
So
something. Yeah.
it like
It's not the
that's
greatest scene, but hey, it's
no,
something.
it's something. So again, really enjoyed it. So happy we got it, and shocked at I thought it would take like 10 to 15 years to get, and we got it in less than five. So also can remember I watched the Vero Man of Steel watch party because it was rumored that this was going to be announced,
Yeah.
and I watched. Well,
I was
it
at
was
work when that happened.
I was gonna watch it anyway, but it was on a Saturday too. I can remember, and this
Yep.
was pre Oliver, so I think it was just Allison's out doing something in the living room, and I was just chilling out in the room watching the stream, and I remember being like, "Holy crap, it's actually happening!" So
Yeah.
yeah, just great times, and I really hope that DC can get back to that level for me of just like I enjoyed Superman, but just a way that it was a bit more mythical for my taste. Like
I
some of
feel
their
like they are starting on that path, but you know they're fighting an uphill battle. You
oh
know,
yeah, oh yeah. But even the action, that I hope that the action gets to that quality because honestly, it's still like I remember when we reviewed the Flash, I was shocked that Flash's stuff with the Man of Steel characters didn't look as good as Man of Steel.
No.
And I was like,
No.
this is crazy. This is crazy. That was 2013, and we're here now in 2025. That was, or 2024, and that movie, 2024.
24, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, and that movie doesn't look better. This is not how it's supposed to get better. It's not supposed to get worse. So, yeah, it was just shocking. So, still really excited for everything going forward, and still happy we got that movie. No matter what, you have those 3 movies that you can watch, and that's a pretty wrapped up story for me.
Yeah.
So, Joe, that wraps up everything. We'll get back to Smallville retro recaps next week.
So we have a few to watch there. So
yep. We have some catch up on. I'm currently all caught up to date, so
I'm behind on like one episode. So I didn't watch this week.
We'll have a chat about it next week. Until then, listeners, we'll be back. See you, everyone.
Bye, y'all.